Beneath the surface, come take a peek. We catch the microtells in every cheek. Headline crimes, creators gone wild. Interesting human tricks that always make us smile. We read the psychology they try to hide. Blink and you'll miss it, but the face won't lie. So hit play and look closer with me. Micro-expression will tell the real story.
Team Goosey Doo, we're gonna get started
Beneath
in just
the
1
surface,
minute, okay?
that's where we go. Reading every flicker, only the careful notice. Micro expressions flashing faster than words can lie. We slow it all down and watch the truth arrive. From headline crimes to creators who pretend, to those ridiculous moments that make the internet bend. We're not here for the show, we're here for what's real. Beneath the surface, that's the deal. One creator's apology that doesn't quite sit right. A criminal story with cracks in the light. A viral fail that's funny until you see the fear. The psychology hiding in the atmosphere. We don't judge the chaos, we study the why. The little tales that give the deeper story away. A blink that lasts too long, a breath they try to hide. The body always speaks even when the mouth is lied. Where we go, reading every flicker, only the careful notice. Micro expressions flashing faster than words can lie. We slow it all down and watch the truth arrive. From headline crimes to creators who pretend, to those ridiculous moments that make the internet bend. We're not here for the show, we're here for what's real. Beneath the surface, that's the deal.
All right, everybody. I hope you guys have had a really, really good afternoon. Yeah, so this is different. Well, I guess I've done a couple of videos where I've talked about like what's going on in the WNBA, and do I think it's a crime? Hell yes, it's a crime. It's a damn crime and shame is what it is. However, we're kind of talking about some psychology here, okay? And of course, y'all already know that I'm a psychologist, but I also love the WNBA. Well, I love the Indiana Fever. And there's other players on other teams that I really like too, but I think that these players on the Fever have really stepped up, and they've shown a lot of integrity. And I think Michaela Timpson is absolutely amazing, doing so great. And the whole team is just, man, they're just doing great. Now, there's, a lot of controversy, okay? If you're here because you're like just a regular friend of mine, and we talk about true crime or whatever, then I'm glad you're here, even if you don't like WNBA, because this isn't about WNBA or basketball. This is about psychology. But if you're just sort of stumbling in because you are a WNBA fan and you're just curious what this is, because I'm not a WNBA sports creator. I mean, I watch them. I like Venom Reacts and others, but there's something going on here with this Indiana coach that is very curious, and we're going to show it. We're going to show the press conference that happened after this particular game, and then I'm going to talk about micro expressions, body language, and what Stephanie White is doesn't know and what she needs to know. Okay? She's the problem. She is the trouble on this team. And in certain circumstances when she has gotten out of the way, you see magnificent basketball. It's like watching a ballet between AB and Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. I'm not even going to include Kelsey Mitchell in that because I don't like Kelsey Mitchell. I don't like the embarrassing attention that some of these commentators just lavish all over Kelsey. Look, there's a reality with Kelsey, and that is she knows one play, and that is dribble, dribble, shoot. She doesn't. She is not a playmaker. She's not controlling the court. She's barely, she's just out there for herself. She's not. The evidence is clear. She doesn't care. The thing that makes these other players so inspiring is because they work together as a machine. And it doesn't matter if it's AB that sinks the ball or Sophie's making a 3-point shot or Caitlin is getting inside and doing an out of control layup. It doesn't matter how the points are getting put on the board. It is that you've got 4 people most of the time on the floor that are operating like a perfectly balanced machine. And when Kelsey gets her hands on the ball, that's the only thing that matters to Kelsey. And we can probably thank Stephanie White, the coach, for that. Because I do think Kelsey does have the talent to be a playmaker. She just doesn't have the want to. She doesn't have the motivation to because everybody's blowing smoke where smoke doesn't belong. You know what I mean? And I think she now thinks that she's the best, player or scorer in the NBA, and she simply isn't. So, anyway, so I'm gonna show this clip here because this is at the heart of what we're gonna watch during the press conference. Okay, so this is the event that caused the problem at the press conference. Okay, now that is Sophie. She's about to go up for a layup, and this is Dejanay, and she's a racist in my opinion. And why do I say that? Because after she was thrown out of this game due to a flagrant foul on this play right here, what you're about to see, she put on a show. It was very performative, and she acted like she was just completely shocked that she was getting kicked out of the game. I don't know why, because she did exactly what the WNBA has said you cannot and should not do. Now, what is very interesting about this is that Sophie Cunningham herself, she acted out on a player that basically stuck her 3-inch fingernails into Caitlin Clark's eyes. Caitlin Clark was being brutalized game after game. It was bizarre. Now that is not happening anymore. That somebody in the front office, I think, stepped up and said, hey, refs, you got to get control of the floor. You can't have a brawl out there every game. We look bad. And it has stopped now. Okay. And I don't think that this Dejanay, I don't think that this was that. I don't think that she was engaging in the, attack or initiation of Caitlin Clark into the WNBA. I don't think that's what this was. I think we got historical images, video where she's done this to many other players. This Sophie wasn't targeted. It could have been AB going in for a layup like this and with the same effects. But it was the after the flagrant foul that things got very performative and very strange. And then she went immediately, she's kicked out of the game. She goes directly into the locker room. And I don't even think she had enough time to take a drink of water. I think she grabbed her phone and made a post tagging the Indiana Fever and said white privilege. So she said that the reason she was thrown out of the game is because she assaulted a white girl or a white player. Now, the interesting thing about this is about maybe was it 8 weeks ago? Maybe 6 weeks ago. Sophie did the exact same play. Well, it wasn't the exact same play because she was actually a little bit in front of the little chihuahua on methamphetamine that she pulled down. But basically, Sophie kind of paid back this other player for poking Caitlin Clark in the eyes. By the exact same move, she wrapped her arms around the player's shoulders, her neck, and fell backwards and literally pulled her down onto the ground. And there were some real differences. It was much more controlled than this. And Sophie fell backwards onto her own back. She was prepared for the impact. And her body actually padded the fall for the player that didn't see it coming. You see what I mean? So when Sophie Cunningham committed a flagrant foul on a layup, she did also get thrown out of the game, but it looked like to me she was cognizant of the danger of what she was doing, and she positioned her body in a way that it would reduce any chance of a major head injury, right? When I saw this happen the other day, I thought, oh my God, that could have been one of those head injuries that ends people's lives or puts them in a wheelchair the rest of their life. This was a moment that was so violent, aggressive, brutal, in a way that what Sophie did doesn't match. It was the same idea, but there were some important differences in the body position. But watch this flagrant foul that this woman in the bleached blonde hair is going to do to Sophie Cunningham, which is this lady in the white jersey. Okay.
Cunningham up ahead of the field, lays it in, plus the foul, and then Cunningham.
And you know, before Cunningham even hits the floor, you can already see her top lip is huge, already enormous, and there's blood. By the time she hits the wood, she's bleeding, like it's already coming out. And Dejanay is taunting. So it wasn't enough that she intentionally clotheslined Sophie Cunningham without Sophie having any idea that it was about to happen. It was such a dangerous situation. She's taunting her instead of like, I'm sorry, I was defending the goal. All right, let it go further.
Gets into the face of Dejanay.
And
Carrington.
I think it's pretty horrible, these referees, one of them was actually grinning. These were the worst referee. Look, okay, I'm going to talk about
right away in the aftermath. And Cunningham.
And Stephanie is this woman. See her right there? There is one little micro moment.
Plus the foul, and then Cunningham gets into the face of Dejanay.
Okay, so you see Stephanie walking up with the gray jacket on.
Harrington right away in the...
What do you see? What does everybody see on Stephanie's face? What do you see? Is that a smile on the coach's face? If you believe Stephanie White is smiling at Dejanay, put a 1 in the chat. Oh, agree, just me. Yeah, she used her nose to try to attack somebody else's elbow. Yeah, I saw that. Yes, she's smiling at Dejanay. Did you know that this woman, Stephanie White, was the coach of Dejanay in 2024 when Dejanay basically tried to kill Caitlin Clark with the same type of nonsense? Same dirty, nasty little hidden backstories going on, but the evidence is there. It's all over the place. If you want to know more about these, see more of these types of little clips. Now, I haven't seen any of the other commentators point out this smile. Nobody else has pointed it out that I've seen what they were doing. But when I saw it, I was nauseated. Okay? Listen, this lady, Stephanie White, her coaching where Caitlin Clark is concerned is atrocious. She has spread her wings wide as if the wings of an eagle spread mighty to lift Kelsey Mitchell up and deliver her to the gods of basketball. Like, she acts like Kelsey is the be all end all of women's basketball, and that is nonsense. There's more to basketball than putting the little orange ball through the circle. She is not a playmaker. She is not strategic. She shows no finesse. All she shows is hunger. Me. Basketball, shoot the ball. Never has any assists. Never helps other players get open or get to the ball. It is a strategic nightmare when you watch when Kelsey gets on the floor. The whole entire team changes, and they'll take a 20-point lead that was gained when Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham are playing. They'll run up a 20-point lead, and then they'll put Kelsey and a couple other girls in, and they fall back behind. And then they put Caitlin and Sophie back in, and then slowly the point, or sometimes rapidly, the points come back up. Look, by the end of the game, you can look at Caitlin and Sophie, they're exhausted because they've basically won the game 3 or 4 times because Stephanie puts Kelsey in and they gradually fall behind, because the only one that gets to make any goals when Kelsey's on the floor is Kelsey. You won't get AB making points. You won't. It's terrible. And when Caitlin is on the floor, Michaela's making shots, AB's making shots, everybody's getting set up. It's the way basketball is supposed to be played. So smile here at her former favorite, DeJounte. She was her coach in 2024. Don't forget I said that, okay? All right, we can watch it through one more time. Look at that. Oh my God. That is sickening.
Aftermath. And Cunningham.
Yeah, that's a real smile.
Right away in the aftermath.
That is a real smile from this heifer.
Gets into the face of DeJounte Carrington right away in the aftermath.
Do you see that message? Do you see that message she sends right over the shoulder of the referee, looking dead ass right at DeJounte? Oh, Stephanie, you are gross, lady. Woo! You are terrible. Okay. Okay, she's still mad. There you go. Look what this lady did to her when she wrapped her arm around her face. That is just the bone of DeJounte, direct impact on Sophie's mouth. And it literally swelled so fast that by the time, okay, so DeJounte wraps her arm around, brings that bone full on down on her front teeth. They hit the ground and she jumps up, and already her lip is enormous. And then she turns around and the blood is gushing. It looks like her tooth is broken up toward the top up here, but nobody has announced that, and she doesn't have to announce that. If it's not an injury that would interfere with play, she can just go to the dentist, get it fixed. They have had quite a nice little break. So bad stuff, right? Now there's another, hold on. Yep. There's another clip I want to show real quick. Right here.
Gives it to Shepard, who is hammered. And Shepard gets up, looks at DeJounte Carrington. Teammates are holding her back, separating the two players. That was a hard foul. I understand the frustration there. But just for Shepard.
Okay, that's DeJounte. We're going to go back to the beginning of this clip. Here we go, okay? This is the woman who is going to get clotheslined by DeJounte. And you're watching a bit of WNBA history. This happened in 2005. This little thing that she did to Sophie Cunningham, this is her signature move. It took me about 2 minutes to find this example, but she does it so often that you can find lots of examples of her doing this to players that are going in for a layup. Okay, so the lady in the middle got her hair up in a bun. That lady coming off of the Lynx logo, that's the one that's going to get clotheslined by DeJounte in this clip from 2025. Watch this.
Shot, Heidemann in the open.
There's DeJounte coming up, running up, blonde, bleached, platinum blonde hair, wig, whatever it is, weave, I don't know what it is. That's DeJounte. Now watch what she's about to do to this woman who's about to try to do a shot.
Gord gives it
Layup, and she slams her in the face.
to Shepard, who is hammered.
And then she comes back for a fight.
Shepard gets up, looks at
It's like she's practiced this. She makes that hit, and then she gets up in their face. And remember, this player, Dejanay, was Stephanie White's pupil. The lady who is currently the coach for the Indiana Fever used to coach Dejanay. You can't make it up. So my question is this, is this dirty secrets? Is this a situation where Stephanie White, she's trained Dejanay to do this? She's taught her to do this. And that little smile was sort of like a wink and a nod. Good job. You still remember. Way to go. I mean, this is some filthy
Dejanay Carrington
behavior.
Teammates are holding her back, separating the two players.
That was a hard foul. I understand.
Yeah, it was a
frustration
flagrant
there. Like
foul
Jessica
that she's been working on since early 2024.
Carrington misses the shot. Heidemann in the open court gives it up to Shepard, who is hammered.
And then stand back, throw your shoulders back, and get ready for a fight. It's the same like body language every time. Okay. All right, now then, let me pull up the press conference, because that's really the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about today. You're going to see Stephanie White in the gray jacket. Okay, so this is the game where Sophie Cunningham has had her front teeth knocked out. Well, I mean, they weren't technically knocked out, I don't think. One of them might have been, but she definitely was bleeding, definitely swollen. There was also a bizarre, and I mean bizarre, technical call on Caitlin Clark where the official said that Caitlin Clark targeted her and threw an elbow, and that's not what happened at all. She was literally pushed out of bounds and accidentally ran into the referee, who shouldn't have been standing where she was standing. If the referee had been paying attention, she wouldn't have been hit. So let's take a look. Now remember, the point of this is just micro expression, body language. People do talk with their words, but do we communicate in other ways that are just as notable, but maybe quiet? Want to watch the body language between these three women, and I want to point out the effect that Stephanie White, as traitor to the Indiana Fever, the effect that she's now begun to have on her players. And we're not talking about college basketball. This isn't college. This isn't high school. These are the best of the best. These are the top playing women, athletes in the country. They are, in fact, being affected by the fact that Stephanie is completely mishandling their team. And it does seem like she's mishandling it with an agenda, which is disturbing.
And through the forearm. That too.
Did they give you a different explanation of anything?
No, that's what I was told. That's what I was told. Yeah.
Was your check for the argument?
My
Let
check
me
was for
start
saying that
this over.
even though I
had
heard the
sound
F-bomb, the
down
whole-
too low. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You were backwards to them. Did you even know they were there in that moment?
and through the forearm. That too.
Did you know they were there?
No,
Did they give
it's
you
really
a
bad.
different explanation of anything?
No, that's
It
what I
was
was
the
told.
same
That's what I was told. Yeah.
Was your check for the argument?
My check was for saying that even though I heard the F-bomb, the whole
Okay. Stephanie White also got a technical foul because she said BS. She said bull, you know what? But the other team was screaming the F bomb, yelling at the officials. At one point, one of the players was actually like chest bumping the referee, and no technical on them. But the Indiana Fever was just collecting technicals left and right, just at the whim of this referee. It was bizarre. So Caitlin Clark got knocked into the official and got a technical. And then when Stephanie Clark came out to say, why did she get a technical? She said, this is BS. And so then they gave the coach a technical. So that's what they're talking about right now. But notice how Caitlin Clark and Michaela is the other player with the headband, the wide headband. Notice their demeanor. They're happy. Like they're enjoying the memory of how silly this was. I think they like the camaraderie together. I think I actually, as I was watching the game and this moment happened, it's really one of the first times that I've seen Stephanie White act like she has any life in her at all, where Caitlin Clark is concerned. It was one of the first times that I said, oh my God, Stephanie White is actually speaking up for Caitlin Clark. I was shocked, stunned that she was actually, it seemed, protecting her player, especially Caitlin Clark. She is brutal to Caitlin Clark, in my opinion. Okay, like Caitlin could do nothing right in this woman's eyes, even though she's breaking one record after another, records that have stood for a decade or more. So it was shocking when she came off the bench and she was, yelling at the official over this weird technical that Caitlin got. And I thought, wow, way to go, Stephanie. And then this press conference happened. This moment happened, which was horrible. So you see them having fun. I think that Caitlin is enjoying, maybe feeling that kinship with her coach for one of the rare moments where her coach is kind of speaking up for her. I think that Michaela is enjoying it. Michaela has been just phenomenal. She's starting. Things are going really great. She and Caitlin work together really well on the basketball court. I think you're seeing like this really healthy, cohesive moment. And I thought I was wrong about what I had been thinking about this woman, Stephanie White. So just pay attention to what is about to happen.
Game. My tech was for saying that. Like that's a bad call. That's a bad call. Incidental contact when you're flying out of control, like on it. And I thought her teammates should have come up and talked to her about that as well. Like I think that's really bad. That happens all the time in the game. Officials have to have some awareness in those moments, and it didn't happen.
You plan to appeal that one?
Yes.
It's already appealed.
And look at Michaela. You see her smiling? This doesn't happen very often. She has a poker face. She stays relaxed, calm, and cool, no matter the level of stress. I think that Caitlin, I think she pissed off Stephanie in this moment. They ask, are you going to appeal this technical on Caitlin? She says yes. And she's sort of doing her big shot. I'm so powerful, little game. And then Caitlin smiles and said, it already has been. In fact, when Caitlin left the floor that night at the end of the game, she had a little bit of an interview on the floor. And when she walked off, she said, I'll see you on the 23rd, which is the next game, right? So, or no, she said, I think she said, I'll see you Tuesday, and that's the next game. And so from that moment on, then it seems like Stephanie is back to being just so stressed. I really think that she felt like Caitlin deflated her sails, that took away her tough guy act. Watch it one more time. And watch Michaela when Caitlin says it, when she says it already has been, Michaela laughs. She thinks it's funny. They got it. Stephanie White has a mutiny on her hands, in my opinion.
It's already a deal.
Caitlin, do you have a reaction to that? Steph was said a lot there.
I just hope the league makes the right decision. Hopefully I can play on Tuesday.
Look at those lips. Look at those lips tight. That is a woman who's saying, don't say anything. I need to keep my mouth shut. Do not say anything. She does not like that Caitlin Clark pulls rank on her. She doesn't like that. She should be the top dog. She should be the one that everybody wants to interview and get their ideas from. Not Caitlin Clark, and certainly not Sophie Cunningham. But see, Michaela, she knows the truth. All of those players on the Fever know the truth about Caitlin. But now watch how Stephanie handles this, and I'm going to stop and rewind a couple of times to focus direction on Michaela and to focus direction on Caitlin.
Whatever day that is.
Smiling. Look at them. Look at them. They're both just grinning. Their eyes are dancing. They're having fun. And look at Stephanie. Look at Stephanie White. She looks miserable. All because Caitlin said, no, it's already been appealed. That really got under her skin because it made it look like she wasn't in control. Made it look like Caitlin was in control. Now watch what's going to happen to these smiles. First, we're going to watch Stephanie White. Then we'll watch Michaela. Then we'll watch Caitlin.
Yeah, I mean, also there was for Steph, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
What is wrong with you, Stephanie White? Do you know who the players are on your team? Do you know? Nene, Shanae. Let me have a little bit of Shanae on top of my burger and bun. She is not your player. Do you know that, Stephanie? She is no longer your player. You have a bad habit of doing this to your players. They are acted out upon by another team, hurt even. And when you stand up, when you're interviewed, when you're asked a question, people think you're actually the coach for the other team because you don't stand up for your players. Listen again to the way this nut answers this question. It is mystifying. Look at these two young women. They are loving that feeling of her being on their team. That the three of them together are laughing and talking about how ridiculous these two technical fouls were, blah, blah, blah. Caitlin inadvertently steps on the sore toes of Stephanie White, and instantly Stephanie, she engages resting bitch face. She instantly goes from smiling and having fun to, you did it again, Caitlin. You did it again. You took my time in the spotlight away from me. You don't get to do that. You are not the coach. I'm the coach. And now there's going to be hell to pay. Watch the transition. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, also there was, for Steph, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so,
Okay, now tell me, what do you think Caitlin and Michaela were feeling? How long did it take to deflate these two professional athletes? Look at that. Burned me up when I saw this, just made me furious. And she's not done.
I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
KK, you grabbed Sophie right after. What was your view of the play? And of course, why did you choose to do that?
I mean, just to protect me. That's it. I mean, you know, I got my teammate back always, so just to get out the way.
Just absurd. I want to show one more thing. Now, this is with Caitlin, and then we're going to talk about Michaela. All right. So right here, Stephanie's still smiling and happy, okay?
Hope the league makes the right decision. Hopefully I can play on Tuesday.
And she's now showing she's angry. She can't hide it. She doesn't know she's showing it. But she's fuming. Happened so quickly. It's like a light switch, okay?
That is.
Yeah,
And Caitlin's still smiling. Okay, keep an eye on Caitlin.
also there was, for Steph, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Watch Caitlin's face.
Yeah, I mean, also there was, for Steph, there was.
Look at the difference between Caitlin and Michaela's face and Stephanie White. There's your problem, Indiana. Right there, in a nutshell. There it is. Your coach doesn't work for your team. She's not the coach of the Indiana Fevers. I don't know where her loyalty lies. I don't know if perhaps she doesn't like being out in Indiana and would prefer to be the coach of the Las Vegas team or the Chicago team. I don't know what her deal is. But she's not fighting for the good of the Fever. And now you're going to see her basically what amounts to sticking a knife in the backs of the Indiana Fever's players. Watch, keep an eye on Caitlin Clark.
Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that.
Okay. Caitlin's like, what? Like, that's what you're going to call it? A hard foul? I mean, she can't hide it. She literally, the air leaves her body, blows her cheeks up, and she looks out to see what everybody else is thinking, like, am I the only one that hears something strange? She's looking for verification. Now, look over at Michaela. Michaela is like a child in trouble. She's fallen into playing with her fingers. It is the strangest body language shift, and it happens so fast. And I watch this and now I'm going, I wonder what Stephanie White is like when nobody's watching. I wonder if this woman is emotionally abusing her team members. This dramatic shift in these two girls is very strange. It's not, the worst of it hasn't happened yet. Keep watching.
Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so.
Oh. Not only is Caitlin Clark understanding that their coach is standing up for a woman who just knocked Sophie Cunningham's head off her shoulders. She's speaking up for a woman who got thrown out of the game because of the violence and the intentionality of what she did. That is their coach. Caitlin is literally holding her mouth shut with her hand, her t-shirt. And I think Michaela's having the exact same reaction. They both give this impression of, what is happening? What is this woman saying?
I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also.
And again, I'm not going to stand up for Sophie. Not going to oppose it. Not going to ask for a reconsideration. Not going to ask them to rescind it. Sophie can eat it. Look at this. Betrayal. This is betrayal. This is a knife in the back of every Indiana player.
Don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
KK, congrats.
And look at Michaela and Caitlin both. They actually peek up as if to say, is it safe to come out? So odd. Okay, and then one last look. We're going to look at Michaela this time, Timpson. I want to look and see where she starts showing stress. You can see it all over Caitlin. She goes from sitting upright, leaning forward, smiling, to completely deflated with her hands over her face. That is easy to see. But I wonder if Timpson or Michaela, I wonder what she's going to show. So let's keep your eyes 100% on Michaela. You know what Stephanie White looks like. She's mad at Caitlin. She feels like she's not getting the glory she deserves. And so now she's going to betray her team.
For 7, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Name. Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Look at this. Watch this player's, and she's amazing. Watch her face in reaction to the question.
Flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Name. Just what was your reaction to that?
Do you see it? I wish I could make this go bigger. That's as big as I can get it to go. Let me try a different way. Hold on. Let's see. Let's try it this way. All right, y'all should be able to see her face there. Yep, that's better, isn't it? All right, we're only going to watch her face because we know what Stephanie's doing. We know what Caitlin's doing. Watch this player respond to the topic change to when Sophie Cunningham got clotheslined in a situation that Dejanay was thrown out of the game. Come on. There we go.
Your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off.
Decision. Hopefully I can play on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day that is. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also there was, for 7, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to that?
Did you see that movement in her face?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did.
I'm fighting with my computer. I don't know if you can tell. Hold on. All right, now you should be able to see her face a little bit better, okay?
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally.
Did you see her when she kind of blinks? It's uncomfortable. She doesn't want this topic. Okay, watch close.
And just what was your reaction to that? And just your
I
thoughts on
always
what
stop
happened?
right
Yeah,
there.
I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her.
I'm gonna go far enough back this time. I'm not gonna be right on top of it. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, also there was, for 7, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that?
See that? Did you see how quick that was?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call.
Now then, after noticing the face blink, right? Like, oh, do we really have to talk about this? Immediately after seeing her face blink, I want you to look down at her hands. Look down at her hands after the face blink.
Yeah, I mean, also there was, for 7, there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things.
You see the fingers drumming? That's a stress reliever. You're seeing these two players that are hearing their coach betray them. Their coach is betraying Sophie Cunningham. Sophie is clotheslined, ends up with a swollen lip, blood all down the front of her face. She's very lucky she didn't end up with a head injury. She was able to keep her head up, which was great. And this coach failed Sophie. The coach failed to do her job, which is to come out and say, we can't accept this. These are the types of plays that get people hurt or killed, and we can't allow this to happen. So the Dejanay was wrong. She shouldn't have done it. It was the right call to kick her out of the game, and she should be suspended for the next game. That was the right thing for a coach to say for their team, for the people that are relying on her knowledge and her wisdom and all that, right? That is not what these girls are hearing. These girls are hearing, okay, so we're playing by Stephanie White's rules, and Stephanie White's rules are that she don't give a shit about us. She doesn't care. She doesn't care at all about us. She doesn't care if we're put in danger. She doesn't care that we play well. She has her own agenda. There's something else that she's working toward, and that something else doesn't have anything to do with the Indiana Fever being successful. They hear it, they feel it, and they are uncomfortable. I mean, how can you win a basketball game if you can't even rely on your own coach? If you're battling the referees, you're battling the other teams, and now you're battling your actual coach? This is a pitiful display. Look at the downward cast face of a generational talent. Look at Caitlin Clark. This is the kind of player that you're not going to see again for another 20 years, maybe 30 years. You think this woman ought to be having this feeling of getting kicked in the stomach? Just disgusting. Okay, I'm going to let it run through. I'm not going to say anything. We'll go all the way back to the moment. Stephanie White's having a great time. She's one of the girls. She has so much power. And then Caitlin Clark says, innocently enough, it's already been appealed. And this woman, Stephanie White, is so tender that she got butt hurt. And that was it. Watch this.
And through the forearm. That too.
Did you know they were there?
No,
Did they give
it's
you
really
a
bad.
different explanation of any kind?
No, that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
the
told.
same
That's what I was told. Yeah.
Was your tech for the argument?
My tech was for saying that, even though I heard the F-bomb the whole game, my tech was for saying that, like, that's a bad call. That's a bad call. Incidental contact when you're flying out of control, like on it. And I thought her teammates should have come up and talked to her about that as well. Like, I think that's really bad.
You hear that passion? You hear how fast she's talking, and she's being very definitive, and she's being firm. Was bad. Was a bad call. It was wrong all the way around. It was bad. It was bad. She was wrong. Yeah, Caitlin was wrong first, but then they had the audacity to give me a technical because I said bullshit. So she's in it, right? Because she's the victim. And then Caitlin makes that fateful error and says, well, we've already appealed it. And and Stephanie White was butthurt, and then watch her turn on her own team.
Happens all the time in the game. Officials have to have some awareness in those moments, and it didn't happen.
I presume you plan to appeal that one?
Yes.
It's already appealed. I just hope the league makes the right decision. Hopefully I can play on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day that is.
Yeah, I mean, also there was there was Sophie's flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Just what was your reaction to that? And just your thoughts on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so,
she even calls the woman that clotheslined her player, could have caused a head injury. Bad things could have happened. She even uses a little pet name for her. Nay. Oh, when Nay plays, everybody better be careful because she's so good. She's going to play hard. She did the right thing. Remember this woman smiling at her as Sophie Cunningham is standing there, literally bleeding from her face. Indiana, here's your problem. Right here, your team, though your top 7 players, that is a national champion team. They're a national champion team. The talent spread among these 7, this is a national champion team. And the only reason that their record is what it is this heifer right here sitting in the middle. And the way that you see her deflate these 2 absolutely amazing players, amazing, is exactly what she does with Kelsey Mitchell. You've got a player like Caitlin Clark who's not only scoring 25, 27 points a game, but she's also getting 10 to 14 assists. Like other people are scoring as well, not just her. If she's not scoring, she's setting up plays and everybody else is getting points. But when Kelsey Mitchell plays, when she's on the court, no one gets to make any points but Kelsey. Dribble, dribble, shoot. Remember that. Dribble, dribble, shoot. Shoot. It's yours, Kelsey. You get to make the points. Don't you worry about Caitlin. We'll stick her off in the corner somewhere. Don't you worry about her getting logo shots. We're not going to let that happen to you, Kelsey. This is your year, Kelsey. And Timpson knows the truth. And Sophie Cunningham knows the truth. And this lady in the middle is the one who is in the way of Caitlin Clark. And she's demoralizing Caitlin and Timpson and Cunningham and AB. She's demoralizing her team. It's very weird. The smile at Dejanay, very, very strange. And these two women respond like children responding to an abusive parent. They look at her and they go, oh shit, she's mad. And they both duck their heads. They get really still. Michaela's got so much stress in her when she gets really still that her fingers are tapping. Because that energy's got to come out from somewhere. There's so much housed in all that. Caitlin's hiding, literally hiding her face in her palms. Because this is the angry, disapproving, abusive mother sitting in between them.
I don't oppose the hard foul.
You should
But I
have.
also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
She did intentionally go for
KK,
the
congrats,
face.
Sophie, right after. What was your view of the play? And of course, why did you choose to do that?
I mean,
And
this
now
is the
watch.
break. That's it.
Watch this. This is the rejecting mother. This is the rejecting mother. She all but turns her back directly on Caitlin. Without Caitlin, the game was lost. They wouldn't have won. She all but turns her back on Caitlin. Look at Caitlin looking at Stephanie. She's not looking at Michaela there. She's looking at Stephanie. She's trying to get a judge on, oh, well, is she mad at me? Wait a minute. What happened? We were all having fun about the technicals. What happened? She has no idea what she said to create this. But now she's going to be rejected. And Stephanie is going to sort of flirt with Michaela. You'll never see that with Caitlin. You're a terrible coach, lady. Terrible. Your job as coach to professional world-class athletes, your job is to inspire, because they probably know more about basketball than you do. Your job as head coach is to inspire this team. And that is not what we've seen you do in this game. You smiled at Dejanay. Okay, I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I got my teammate back always, so just to get out of the way.
Gotta ask about her response. She went in and she got on social and said white privilege after her getting.
Who did this?
Dejanay
Oh.
did. And in response
Nene
to-
did.
No, I don't know anything about that. But no response.
Well, yeah, it makes Nene look bad, right? It makes your little friendly Nene, makes her look bad. Makes her look like a racist. So you don't have any comment about that. Look at Caitlin Clark's body language. No comment. I don't know anything about that. I don't believe Nene did that. Nene's not that kind of person. She didn't do it. Somebody else got her phone. She would never say something so blatantly racist. Never. Look at these two players. You know, you guys that are friends of mine in the channel, y'all know I am prone to wild speculation. In fact, we used to do Wild Speculation Friday, right? That was a thing. If I didn't know better, I would want to ask anybody in Las Vegas, is Stephanie White putting bets on the Fever to lose? What's happening here? Like, what's the payoff? What's the motivation for this coach? Look at her two star players who just ended up having a spectacular game. Look at them. She has torn them down in moments. It didn't take time at all. Why? Why would she do that? You want to remember what it was like at like the beginning of the press conference? The beginning of the press conference when it was all about, they gave me a technical and how dare them? Don't they know that I'm badass Stephanie White? Well, look how much fun they're having.
She intentionally seeked out the official.
Look at them.
You were backwards to them. Did you even know they were there in that moment?
And through the forearm. That too.
Did you know they were there?
No. It's really,
Did they
it's
give you
really
a
bad.
different explanation of any kind?
No, that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
the
told.
same
That's what I was told. Yeah.
Was your tech for the argument?
My tech was for saying that even though I heard the F-bomb the whole game, my tech was for saying that like that's a bad call. That's a bad call. Incidental contact when you're flying out of control, like on it. And I thought her teammates should have come up and talked to her about that as well. Like I think that's really bad. That happens all the time in the game. Officials have to have some awareness in those moments, and it didn't happen.
Presume you plan to appeal that one?
Yes.
It's already appealed. I just hope the league makes the right decision. Hopefully I can play on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day that is.
It's just incredible, isn't it? That one little statement and you get this face as opposed to the smiling face and the energy. It was a bad call. It was a bad call. It's very sad. It's very sad. Indiana, you have a problem. Her initials are Stephanie White. That's it. All right. They definitely should, absolutely should have a better record. And the last game against the Aces was just it was, you couldn't believe your eyes. Well, I don't want to get into another game discussion, but it is very sad to go from this happy camaraderie where you're working as a team and you're feeling connected and you're feeling good and your coach is standing up for you and your coach is willing to fight for you. You go from that to Shanae is such a great gal. She's so good. And she's just not going to stay down and let my little pitiful players skip up to the rebound, or I'm sorry, skip up to the layup. It's pitiful. You're pitiful, Stephanie White. You're the problem, Stephanie White. You're the problem. You're the problem. Okay. A lot of the losses are due to the refs. Yeah, and that's, I mean, my husband's tired of hearing me yell at the TV. But you're playing other teams with world-class athletes on them, and you're fighting and playing against these. Look, let's be honest. The referees very often seem like high school referees, right? They miss the subtle stuff. Look, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the WNBA, they just pick up the ball and start walking across the court with it. Traveling is a real rule, but the referees don't seem to think girls can play basketball without traveling, so they don't really call it. It's very strange. And I'm not being facetious when I say, listen, Angel Reese, Okay, we're gonna quit there. I'm gonna control my mouth. I'm convinced in some sports games are thrown and many know ahead which team will be the winner. Big money. Pete Rose, right? And Pete Rose, he was blocked from the Hall of Fame. He never played baseball again. They devastated what probably the greatest baseball player of all time. But his bet was that his team would win. He wasn't betting against his team. But I tell you what, that game, the last game against the Aces, there were a lot of very strange missed shots. I mean, very strange. So, yeah. Okay. I think all professional sports are fixed. Too much money riding on those games. I don't think I mean, I respect your opinion on it. I think I don't think you could fix every game, right? But maybe I could be totally wrong. Maybe men should play on women's teams. Now I'm rethinking it. Um, well, we actually do have a guy who actually played for the NBA. Ennis is his name. He has officially announced his um, intent to participate in the WNBA draft. He is 7 feet tall, and he was an excellent NBA player. He wasn't, a league minimum. He was a player. And yeah, it's the politically the battle is heating up over the whole biological males playing in protected women's sports. Um, so that is another thing that causes frustration with the WNBA is that they can't just let these athletes play their sport. We have to have these foolish political games. I don't know why we need these. We just need to quit with politics and enjoy the athleticism, right? That is what it is really about. But some people have another agenda. So, and I do think one of those people is Stephanie White. I think one of the reasons that Sophie did not enjoy the benefits of being protected by her coach is because she stood up. She's friends with Riley Gaines, and she stood up and she said, I don't think that we should allow boys to compete in female sports because we need to protect girls. They need to be given a space to compete fairly with other women, and not fight against the advantages of testosterone. And there are advantages to testosterone. Their bone structure is more dense. Their muscle structure is massive. It's it is unfair to expect an average sized female athlete to go up against an average sized male athlete. Just take a look at the NBA one night. Now, Caitlin Clark is 6 feet. I think she's 6'1". Sophie Cunningham, maybe she's 6'1", 6'2". So we're not talking about little wilting flowers here. These are big women. But, an NBA player, 7 feet tall, and they weigh, 240 pounds, and it's solid muscle. That guy is going to, look, you guys, there won't even need to be any running involved. Okay. Ennis is just going to dribble up to the goal, and he's just going to reach up, and he's just going to drop the ball into the hoop, and he can have all 5 players hanging off of him and jumping on him, and it won't stop him. The physics, these females are not, they don't have the body mass or the strength to interfere with someone 7 feet tall, 250 pounds of solid muscle, who can just stand there and drop the ball in the hoop. And sad, I do think he's going to do it. And if this is a true political goal of the WNBA, then Ennis Freedom should go first round draft pick, but he won't. I don't think anybody will pick him, because they'll look at it like as a ruse. They'll say he's just being goofy. And anyway, that is the whole different ball game. I didn't want to talk about that. I wanted to talk about Indiana's problem. Indiana's problem is the coach, Stephanie White. These three girls that I have on this thumbnail, they are basketball players. They have dignity. They play with their entire heart. Michaela and Caitlin don't ever step into the political controversy. They just want to play basketball. And they're, it's those kind of players, like the players like Timpson and AB. I should include AB as well. I think Aaliyah is doing amazing. There's a lot of people on that team that are just great basketball players, and it's being disrupted by the fact that they're fighting against referees and their own coach, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Okay? My opinion. All right. We don't have many people, I think, that like the WNBA like I do, but I'm glad. Look, if there's only one other WNBA fan, then it's worth it to me to talk about it, because I love basketball. I like baseball too, but I watch the Astros probably about 60% of their games, but I try to catch all of the WNBA stuff. So, all right, whole country seems more violent. Yeah, things are becoming worrisome. But you know what, Diane? I don't think it's just this country. I think they're having the same types of problems in England. They're having the same kinds of problems in Germany, France, Egypt, Lebanon. Like there's a lot of upheaval right now. Money, the world economy is struggling. But basketball is simple. There's rules to basketball, and that's a great way to manage anxiety, is to either play a game like Uno or something, or to watch a game where there's rules and there's right and wrong. Anything like that, anything that's really structured right like that, that is a very good way to get centered and grounded and relaxed. So if you haven't been watching WNBA, I invite you to watch. The Las Vegas Aces right now are the defending champions. They have a great team. There's no doubt about that. They have last year's most valuable player that plays with them. And it's my opinion that Indiana Fever, they will be this year's champions, is my guess. They'll probably win it. So if they keep making the leaps and bounds that they are right now. So all right, you guys, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and listening. And I did look into some of the drama, and I'm fairly horrified. I think it is worthy of a video to talk about what allegedly Speculating did a year ago, and have a discussion about that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just do a quick little search on the YouTube search engine. And then we'll do a video. Did you see Christina Stalker? No. Has she a stalker? I used to follow football with my sons. Yeah, I don't know enough about football to really get into it, but I do understand baseball very well, and I really I know basketball. So Christina has a channel. Okay, so I need to, yeah, I have been watching. I believe Christina's channel is called Hey Christina Mack. Hey Christina Mack. I call her Christina with the good hair because her hair is well, she's gorgeous all the way around, but her hair is beautiful. So she must have a video up that shows the whole stalking thing. So I will go over there tonight and catch up on what's going on with Christina. Thank you for that information, Just Me. I did watch Excited Utterance and kind of got a bit of background on that as well. And then there was the allegedly speculating debacle with Steven Stearns. And you know what it sounds like to me? It just seems like the streets of Utopia are on fire. It's like everybody's sort of, going off the deep end. I don't know why, but we aren't. Not in our little channel. Everybody's doing great, aren't we? All right. Yeah, Steven Stearns, the PDF file. I do like Banana Ball, even though people think it is silly. I think it's fun. I still don't get all the rules of how they play, but it's entertainment, and I'm upfront about the agenda. It isn't silly. It is a very difficult game. But I love it, Jen, because I like the athleticism of it and the strategy that's required. Like I said, it's if they're playing well and they know their plays, and they have a good coach, it's like a ballet. You can predict at any given moment where players will be on the floor, and it's pretty. This team really and truly is impressive. When they get out of Caitlin's way. I understand football. I watch the Chiefs, and basketball. I love to watch the Jayhawks. My husband used to watch like LSU football. He loved football, but he got sick of the whole political crap. Me and Bill are sick of the political nonsense. We don't even want to listen. We don't want to hear a debate. We don't want anybody. We're just sick of it. It's mindlessness. There's no rational logic, and it's just all strange. So yeah, so we'll watch the Chiefs and the Jayhawks and the Astros and the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces. Let's just watch sports and not worry about the silly politics of life, okay? And everybody stay cool, because it's super hot right now everywhere in the United States. It's wild how hot it is. And thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and us, talking about psychology. And we will, I guess we'll leave by listening to this. See you guys later.
We catch the microtels in every cheek. Headline crimes, creators gone wild. Interesting human tricks that always make us smile. We read the psychology they try to hide. Blink and you'll miss it, but the face won't lie. So hit play and look closer with me. Micro-expression will tell the real story. Beneath